Hi,
Hello.
how are you today?
Do you really want to know?
Oh, I think I do. So, Signet, when I was a freshman in college, I took a class called Literature of uh, the Mentally Afflicted, and I read a book about depression, a memoir by William Styron. And in the book, he did say that it's indescribable what depression feels like. And I understand because how can a healthy mind imagine the dimensions of torment that is so alien to what I experience every day? And even though I did read the book, it was difficult for me to imagine the experience of being depressed. So I would like to ask you to describe what depression feels like. If yes.
It's indescribable.
Oh, end of interview. Indescribable. But I just think it's still meaningful to talk about it, to try to.
No, I
Yeah.
know. I unusually don't do drugs. Like I don't do any, not like psychotropic. I don't talk about those right now.
Right.
But like I don't smoke dope. I don't do any LSD. I don't do any of these drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But one day I had to take drugs, for some reason, right?
Okay.
And
What kind of drug?
I don't know. It was
Oh.
injected to me without telling me.
Ooh.
And I had a trip, right?
Okay.
And the trip was indescribable. I could not describe it.
Right.
And it was the experience that really did not fit into the realm of the words. And when I went out of the experience, because I'm a writer, right? I like to write. I like to describe everything in the words. And I was astonished that I could not describe what had happened, although there was a clear storyline in the trip, but I could not really put it in my words.
Wow.
Till 1 year later, I could describe it.
Okay.
So with depression is sort of similar. You have it every day, or not every day. You have it. It comes and goes, and then how do you describe it? And it's where does your personality starts and ends, and where does depression starts and ends? Like for example, my low self-esteem was that upbringing, or was that I was born with it? How my low self-esteem, which is part of my personality, does that feeds into depression, or how does that become depression? Is that part of depression? These are the questions that I always wonder about. So when you try to pinpoint what feels and how it feels, you have to separate it from your own personality, which is very hard to do. But in any case, so I am making a film. It's called Rocks in My Pockets. It's a film about depression. And for me, the depression is the rocks in my pockets, which weight me down, which will drown me if I lie down on the bottom of a river. And so the rocks, those rocks are I would say, symptoms, or something that I can put my finger on. And so these rocks are the pain, the intolerable pain that comes out of nowhere. There's no reason. It's
like physical pain.
It's inside. It's a physical pain, but it's inside. I think that I mentioned it before, that pain feels like a heartbreak. When somebody dumps you with no reason.
That sucks.
And you really are hurt inside.
Yeah.
Except depression pain is without a reason.
Okay.
So it's a heartbreak, but no reason. And you have that feeling of pain inside.
Okay.
The other thing is feeling of futility, and of a feeling of like nothing really matters, or no effort is, non-effort is like, it doesn't matter. And that leads to paralysis. like you get paralyzed inside. First inside, like you can't move inside, you can't move your thoughts, you cannot move your feelings, and then it projects outside when people finally see that you don't get up from bed, you don't move for days, lying in bed, you're paralyzed, you cannot move.
Okay.
Then there's a feeling of dread that something horrible is going to happen. Like any moment, something like now, right? Like soon.
Right now.
Now, like soon.
Okay.
Just like when we finish this conversation, something horrible will happen. And I know that humans do live in that fear of the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know, we all expect that world to end, right? And I think that my depression picks up on it, and it kind of like says it's gonna happen now. It's not gonna happen in 2,000 years. It's gonna happen now, and I'm feeling it, and it doesn't happen.
But that's not a comfort to you. Like if you have a dread, but then it doesn't happen the next day.
It's not something dreadful will happen. The expectation, the anticipation of it, right, that's what is so frightful, right?
Okay.
Not the event itself,
right? Okay.
But the expectation of it. And also, that brings me to the other thing, is that the desire to be erased, the desire, I wouldn't say to die because it's a strong word, but to disappear, the desire to non-existence.
Okay.
That is a very strong, like a will to not exist. And now you say there's a contradiction of you wanting to disappear and then waiting and being afraid of the end of the world, right? And I always feel that there's a contradiction, that you want to disappear here, like welcome the end of the world. For some reason, they just don't come together. I think it is because maybe, I don't know, because you're not in control. When something horrible is going to happen, you're not in control of that, but you're in control of disappearing yourself. Maybe that's the difference. I don't know. But the desire to disappear, the desire for non-existence is very, very present in my everyday life. I'm thinking about it every 15 seconds.
So it's very constant. All these feelings.
No, the desire, like the pain and the dread, they come and go.
Okay.
The desire to disappear is every day.
I see.
I don't know how
I see.
Yeah. And then there's this one more thing that happens that I kind of only recently put my finger on, right? And I even wrote it down.
Right.
Is that the feeling of confusion. Like sometimes when you're in a deep sleep and then all of a sudden you wake up and you don't know where you are for a brief moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know the feeling, right? That feeling of not knowing where you are, who you are, but lasts for days.
Okay.
So you wake up, wake up, there's outside world, but somehow you lost the thread. The thread of continuity of action, of continuity of belonging, of continuity. Like you all of a sudden are a stray bullet going, not knowing, and you're not even a bullet, you're just like jumping around. You don't know where to start your day. You don't know what is the next thing, and organizing it in your mind is an impossible task.
Wow.
So, but talking about things coming and going, that's what I wanted to say. The like obsessive thoughts, I have them every day, but the pain, the confusion, the dread, this thing that hits me maybe twice a year.
Okay.
Sometimes 3 times, but in a softer form the 3rd time. But in 2 times a year it hits like really hard. It just goes inside and it spreads out from small little tinge of of like a stab of needle. It grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's overwhelming.
Okay.
And then you know that in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it may be done, right? But you have to live through 4 weeks of this pain and yeah. But since I am not insured, I don't have health insurance, so I can't ease that pain as drugs. And also because I'm an artist, and I'm kind of feeling that I shouldn't be taking drugs, not to dull my sense of the world, that I need to be connected to me, to my pain, and to world, and really feel it. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But that's how I feel about it. So that's another reason why I don't do drugs.
Okay.
So.
Wow.
Here you go.
Thank you.